What's up, y'all? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from home before I head to the shop. But this was on my mind. This was something we were teaching at the clinic in Coldwater this past week. And I want to talk to you a little bit about layouts, the core position, the pin position, and what it actually looks like inside the ball, and give you an idea of how these things, how they transition down the lane and things like that. I gotta give credit to Ron Hicklin. I'm gonna steal a portion of a video that he posted a while back to use as demonstration as well. So we're gonna talk about all of these things here in a minute. Stay tuned. All right, so forgive me for my drawing skills here, but you're gonna have to kind of bear with me. We're gonna draw a bowling ball that is more egg-shaped than anything, okay? Whoa, yeah, that's a really bad circle, but you get the idea, okay? And then let's say it's a, let's just call it a light bulb core. Something along the lines, more look like a stomach. How about that? A stomach core. Cool, perfect, okay. This right here, let's use a different color. We're going to call this the top of the core, or the pin. And more than likely you have something like the CGs right here, and then the mass bias right there, okay? So, just for demonstration purposes here. Now, if we want to lay this ball out, we obviously have the pin, we draw the straight line through here, we do all our numbers, blah, 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 based on your PAP, okay? So, let's just assume your PAP is right here. It's this dot, okay? That's your positive axis point. It would be more like this, of course. But if that's your positive axis point, and let's say we lay this ball out and we put the fingers here and the thumb there. Now you got pin up here with this distance. Let's call that 4 inches. And then you've got here your difference of where your mass bias is to your thumb. They always recommend something like an inch away from your thumb for max. The more this mass bias is kicked out, the lower that first number is, and the more you're actually getting that ball to start up, or to get it to get the core to start up a little bit quicker. So the lower that first number, the more you're kicking the mass bias out, because that line, remember, is drawn straight through here, not through the CG. So the more you kick the CG out and the mass bias out, the more you're actually turning that core. You're flipping that core over, and you're making it tumble this way, right? So it's going this way, and then it has to turn to get to where it's stable, to where this pin actually migrates, and the core turns, and it eventually ends up this way. And so then it's actually rolling up and down here. I know this is a bad example here, but let me try and just at least show you. Bear with me here, bear with me. Let me try and at least show you the difference of layouts on here. And I'm going to show you an actual video of a ball, how it transitions down the lane. But if we've got the light bulb core yet again, that's a little better, with the pin there, the mass bias here, and the CG there. Now if we want to go, and let's say your positive axis is right here. Now if we actually put our, that wouldn't make sense being our positive axis right there. But anyway, so now if we actually drill the finger holes here with the thumb here, and that makes the positive axis be over here, right? So now look at the distance that pin has to the mass bias. Quite a bit more distance there. So now you're looking at 5 to 6 inches there, rather than the 4 inches when the mass bias was over here. You see the difference on the distance there, and you can see how that core actually shifts a little bit. Now the core is sitting completely different in the layout than it was previously. So how and where you put these fingers is making how that core sits in the ball. So if we take, and let's say this is the core, right? And this is the pin up here, and we put it straight up and down. Now this is flopping down the lane this way until it can get to its stable point, or till it gets to its axis, to where it's just dead rolling, to where it's no longer making any crazy motion, and it's just rolling basically like this, where the pin is completely off to the side and it's just stable this way. Now if we put the pin further left, now it has to wobble. You can see how much more it wobbles, and then it also has to come back to get to here, and then to here, and then all the way over to here. You see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. But let me show you a video here that you can actually see the ball transitioning down the lane. All right, so you saw that that core was transitioning the way it was rolling until it got to its stable point. So it's the same thing here. This, because it's got weight in it as well, is going to flip-flop around until it finds its way to get to here to where it's stable. And it's just going to keep rolling that way. That is its true roll there. So just keep that in mind when you're laying bowling balls out and stuff. Try to visualize how that core is sitting in the ball. So that way you can do things like this and say, okay, I want to go and get the ball to have a longer distance to get to that roll point. So the longer distance you give it, so the longer the pin up to, what is it, like 6 3/4 inches or something along those lines, to before it'll actually invert, because now you're setting the core too far. So if my hand's in the ball here and the core is, if this is normally my 4.5 inch pin, if I keep going this way and get that pin way over here, now it's going to, instead of being up this way, flopping here to get to this axis, if this pin's way over here, if it goes too far, it's going to flop and then find its way to the opposite axis, to the opposite side of the ball. So it's basically going to be inverted on the other side of the ball. And that's why sometimes you can see the flaring star and then they go backwards and they invert. That's, you've gone too far with pin distance. And when you see a bowling ball that rolls over the fingers or over the thumbs on one ball but not the rest of them, generally it has something to do with the layout there. So be careful. This stuff is not exactly easy to explain when you don't have technology in front of you to be able to show exactly how it goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a core or something and I'm going to drill a pin. I'm going to drill through it so I can actually like just spin it in my hands and you can see how it rolls, how it flops, and then I can get it to where it goes. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. So anyway, stay tuned for that video. I might do that while I'm at the shop a little bit later. I got a bunch of balls to drill. I got 2 new storm balls that just got here. And I got like 4 or 5 of the brands of Brunswick bowling balls at the shop that I need to finish up and do. So we're going to do that. But this was kind of just giving you an idea of how the layout changes based on how the core is sitting, or how the core changes based on the layout that you put on the ball. So pay attention to these things. Give me a like and a comment. And if you got ideas for other videos that you want to learn, let me know down in the comments below. But I'm out of here. We'll see you guys later.